Hello, and welcome to Geeky Ghouls. We're your hosts, Cheyenne.
Bree.
And Claudia.
Each week we'll dive into the world of ghosts that wander the night, cryptids that lurk just beyond, fairy tales,
Plus anything and everything in between, which may hold darker truths than you imagine.
So grab your favorite blanket, turn off the lights, and settle in as we conjure up some ghoulish fun. Hello, and welcome everyone to our very first episode of Geeky Ghouls. Today we're diving into one of our quirkiest and most elusive creatures of the paranormal realm, the Fresno Nightcrawlers. These mysterious beings have been spotted slinking through the shadows of California's Fresno's region, leaving behind a trail of intrigue and curiosity. With their long legs and distinctly ghostly appearance of basically walking ghost pants, or traveling pants as I like to call them. But what exactly are Nightcrawlers? Are they alien visitors, local urban legend, or something else entirely? Today, we'll explore the origins of these creatures, look at some eyewitness accounts, and even discuss our theories.
How are you guys doing today?
I think they're doing pretty good. I'm really excited to jump in and learn more about my traveling pant friends.
Well, yeah.
I'm just excited to be here.
Oh, all right. So we have a couple sightings we're going to talk about that we know of. And from there, we're probably going to go into some theories and what we think about what these traveling pants could possibly be. The myth, or I guess the urban legend, comes from Fresno, California in 2007. A man named Jose from Fresno, California, reported seeing the very first footage of the Fresno Nightcrawlers. He kept getting woken up at night by his dogs barking, so he went out and purchased a CCTV surveillance camera to check on what they were barking at. The next day, after reviewing the footage, it was pretty poor quality, but he called over his brother to witness what kind of creatures showed up on this footage. They were extraordinarily thin. They had very long legs, making up most of their body proportions, and they had no arms. And what he remember saying about them is that they looked like they were walking pants on his front lawn. Jose was a little freaked out, and he wanted to make some sense of the footage he'd have just witnessed.
Right, so he contacts the police for answers and what they observe on the screen, but are unable to provide anything helpful. So Jose gave it to Univision, a Spanish-speaking TV network, as well as paranormal investigator Victor Camacho, the host of the Spanish-speaking supernatural program Los Desvelados, or Sleepless Ones. Camacho analyzed the original surveillance footage and presented it to the mutual UFO network, MUFON. The footage was found to be inconclusive. But when the media got a hold of the footage, the media ran with it. Making Fresno Nightcrawler the phenomenon overnight. Now that's why we see all the wonderful merch, right? With the little ghost booty boot.
With the long legs and
Mhm.
I agree.
The cakes.
I have not seen the cakes.
The
Are
cakes
you
are
are you
so
talking
cute.
about are you talking about cakes or like cheeks?
The
I'm
cheekies.
talking about being
Like
But
big boys.
Fresno's caked up, because those could be two different things.
I'm wondering if I'm misspeaking. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Jose not wanting. I don't even.
What? I want to know what's happening. I mean, like cakes, like on like a birthday cakes.
I thought she
Big
meant
boy
like
cakes.
them being caked up, like with big booties. And I
They
have
also
seen
caked up.
that because their majority of their body is legs, so I have seen caked up, you know, drawings and stuff.
But
You mean the
I'm
ones with the
sure there
chonky
are actual
booties?
cakes.
Yes,
Yeah, I've seen the chonky booty ones. They're cute. They got their little cheeks out.
yes.
I don't know why it became a thing. I think there's other like cryptids with chunky
I think it's just a
bodies.
popular thing to give
Big ol'
cryptids chunked up badonkadonks. Yes, just all right. Anyways, Jose, not wanting much to do with the case, wanted to remain as anonymous as possible. He kind of stepped away from the limelight even though so many people had so many questions about this footage. They wanted to know about him and all this stuff, but he literally just left the footage circulating social media, and today we can't even get any answers from him because he unfortunately did die. So any more information from Jose will not be found, and all we're left with is this CCTV footage that circulates online.
Absolutely.
Jose.
And then, just for those of you who don't know what is CCTV footage, we're going to have Cheyenne explain it because she does the best job at explaining technology of the past to today.
CCTV is, back then ring cameras weren't as prevalent as they are now. So CCTV is pretty much like setting up a camera just to record, and it would be on a VHS. And if you're too young to know what a VHS is,
Well, yeah, what's a VHS?
Let's pretend to be the kids.
oh my God. It is how we used to watch things back. So movies, everything was pretty much on this cartridge of a thing that you would have to rewind. You could either have your machine do it if you were lucky to have a machine that would rewind, or you would have to manually rewind it yourself. Yeah. So when we're talking about the footage that Jose's getting, it's not very good because you have to hope that there's good night vision on it, and essentially it's not being uploaded to your smart device. It is literally on his TV, and he is recording it possibly with a camcorder.
He is. So that's also another reason why the footage is so blurry, because people are like, why the heck is this footage so bad? It's because he didn't actually submit the tape, the footage of the tape. He submitted him recording it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the only footage we have for these Fresno Nightworkers. A recording of a recording.
Okay.
Also, part of the reason they wanted me to explain this because they were making fun of me for explaining things to them when they are the same age as me. And I have kids, so I have to explain things to people.
I wanted Cheyenne to explain it anyway because I realized there might be some listeners that are before our time.
I know.
We want to welcome them and give them that
We are
space.
youthful and young and with it.
Honestly, I feel like even today with all our Ring cameras and technology, when there's something supernatural and spooky going on and someone goes to whip out their phone, it's still blurry. So can someone solve that mystery? Why the evidence is still blurry with our iPhone 16s now?
It's
If it doesn't look like it's a Blair Witch project, it's not real.
It's not real. That's how you know.
You got to be spooked in a corner with a phone shaking. You're spooked.
Yeah.
Like you're not even trying to record because you're just like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Running.
Okay, we need to get back to the podcast, you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
So there is another sighting in 2011. On March 28th, 2011, about 4 years after the original Fresno encounter with Jose, security cameras in Yosemite National Park captured footage that would reignite the interest of the mysterious nightcrawlers. Park rangers had set up security cameras to monitor potential vandalism in the area. Their intent was to catch anyone trespassing or, doing some ne'er-do-well stuff. This context is crucial as it eliminates some of the skepticism that often surrounds the attempts to capture footage of the cryptids. That's not why they put the cameras out there. They weren't trying to find, something creepy. They were just trying to catch people doing shady shit. And around 2 a.m., March 28th, the cameras reported two figures that looked like the creatures that were seen in Fresno. These creatures also appeared as white with long legs and minimal upper bodies. However, Yosemite footage provided clearer images, allowing for more detailed analysis of the creature's appearance and movement. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Yosemite sighting was the presence of two nightcrawlers of two different sizes. The larger creature was leading the way of the smaller one. that followed close behind.
Yeah, so after they recorded this footage, they were like, what the heck is this? So they obviously posted it online, and even the famous Fact or Faked tried so hard to debunk this footage with various techniques. If you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. But they found out that this footage was actually pretty authentic for what it was. And there has been, I can't remember his name, but there's been someone who has come close to maybe trying to figure out like what this could possibly be. Because to me, when I look at the Yosemite video, it kind of looks like puppets. Like their gait is very long and slow. So to me, that would probably be the only thing that could mimic these creatures in the Yosemite sighting. But other than that, what do you guys think? Like, have you guys seen the video from the Yosemite National Park sightings?
I'm going to look at it really quickly because I have it right here. This is the first one.
I have looked at it. I personally think it just looks like two of them walking at very different distances, one closer to the camera, one farther away, which gives off the illusion that they're one smaller, but I don't know. It's just.
You think
just
it's like a
scary.
perspective thing? Like they're probably the same size, but they're just walking.
That's what I thought when I looked at it.
This is the one that made me think it was the Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. Like,
Yeah, it's a little more detailed than the Fresno sighting. You can kind of see how they like walk. They're like really long legs. They definitely look like pajama pants in this one.
definitely. They make me think of just going out with like one of my tall friends, and I'm just like the one behind, like, la la la.
Yeah, and like you're like what do they call them? Like your mom jeans, just like walking around and you're like your pajama mom jeans. Like that's what that makes me think of.
Definitely.
Okay, so there has been other possible sightings for these. They did get the nickname Nightcrawlers after the very first sighting, and people have said that they've witnessed other Nightcrawlers. So we are going to mention these ones. They do have some video. Some of them have video sightings. Some of them are just recordings, doing interviews and stuff. But let's go over those, and at the end we'll just see what you guys think about it. So in 2014, on December, we have in Carmel, Ohio, we have a 60-year-old ex-Marine and his wife who just moved to the area, bought a house right before the Burr months. So if you know what that means, October, November, December. And they noticed something strange about their house. The ex-Marine was quoted on saying after being interviewed is that they recently bought a house in the Fort Hill area. And about 30 days living there, they noticed that they would always have a perfect circle that stays fresh green no matter what weather they had in their front yard. So it could be snowing, it could be raining, and that patch of
Snow,
grass
what is
was
that?
always, yeah. We're California girlies. We don't know what that means. Southern California girlies. But in this case, they get all the weathers, and this grass stayed perfectly green. But one night, on Friday night, on the 12th, they were driving home on Carmel Road, which leads to the road that curves around the Carmel Church. On a small incline, approximately 10 feet over the incline, in front of their truck, he describes seeing an alien run across the road into the woods. In a later interview, the Ohio Division of MUFON, the former Marine's wife, shared, "My husband is a skeptic. He wouldn't have admitted seeing it if he hadn't been in shock. I had him draw for me what he saw when we got to the house. He says it was asphalt gray, about 7 feet tall, no arms. He could see that it was muscular in the leg area, no jawline. Its legs were bent backwards as it leaned forward as it ran."
Gross.
I
For
don't know
some
about
reason, I thought of a Naruto run, but without the arms, just chop off like like where you're like lunging forward.
No.
That's the image I got. Just chop off the bottom.
Believe it.
You know what? They're ninjas that were just cut off.
their arms.
Oh,
Their
God.
arms were
They're
cut
just
off.
like
ninjas.
yeah, like their upper torso gone. Just
God.
legs. Leg day.
What are
for
they doing in
days.
Carmel, Ohio?
Training. Hardcore
Training
training.
on that 10-foot incline?
It's that like final villain arc in the Burr months.
In the Burr months?
It's Q4. You got to beef up,
Right before spring.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Ohio caramel creature, this one seems like what explained it's more or less of an animal. Some speculate, in fact, that it's a bird because a lot of birds do have backward pointing legs and they do lack the arms as their feathers are tucked inwards. Some say it's probably a stork or a crane, which is kind of funny because a lot of cryptid sightings are mistaken for birds. A lot of birds
Or
have
a lot of we all think these cryptids are cryptids, but are actually birds. We don't know.
we don't know.
They're
There's no
really fucked up looking birds if they are.
yeah, because a lot of birds are pretty much to blame for a lot of things. Just because there's so many bird species out there. But at night, I could see how even if it was a giant bird running across the road in the middle of the night, could be creepy.
Okay, I'm gonna take a drink of my water.
Okay, everyone take a drink of water.
Water shot.
Shot.
Yeah, I got believe in
In
you.
2020, the 25th of April, Billings, Alabama, another footage showed up of a possible sighting of a nightcrawler. It's probably one of the blurriest footages out there. But when investigating the area after the report sighting, there was a deer carcass found near the footage. And some speculate that the nightcrawler could have possibly hunted it down.
That doesn't make sense because it's just
How?
legs.
They could have stomped the yard on that deer.
I mean, these are 7-foot tall legs.
Yeah, according to, the Cameron, Ohio sighting, it's a pretty tall figure.
Okay, tell me why I just imagined them as like bodybuilder legs.
Like muscular legs under those pajama pants. They're just secretly hiding legs.
It's because they've been training for the Burr months,
They gotta get swole.
That's what they were training for.
Yep.
Getting
Yep.
dinner.
And they're in gray sweatpants.
Is that what it is? They're not white? I thought they were white.
I
guess it's after Labor
white,
Day.
But it's like, like those really like light gray sweatpants where you can kind of see everything.
Ma'am.
What are you thinking about? She's like, I hope they're all legs.
Oh.
Okay, let's continue.
The last footage that we see of this creature so far, because this creature is a very new creature, is in Poland. And there is a 5-second footage, a very blurry footage of it. And some say it could be a nightcrawler. But from all the sightings to all of a sudden being in Poland, it's kind of...
Taken a boat.
They could take it to Poland.
Yeah,
those traveling pants could have traveled to Poland.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we travel. Why can't they travel? It might make more sense to be around other areas where they blend in a little bit better,
I guess. I think if I was a white pair of pants, I would probably go to more snowy places so that I wasn't captured on people's footage.
Yeah.
Whoa, you think they're aware of the footage?
I don't know. I feel like most cryptids are, because then we would have captured a solid, piece of footage of them.
Yeah, they could have like a paranormal like privacy screen, and that's why everything comes out blurry or distorted.
Like they have like a Warren technology, kind of like how they have the AI makeup that makes it so that it doesn't do facial recognition. Maybe it's like that, something like that. But then it also makes me wonder if there's like a pair of traveling pants just hanging out in their home and like a bunch of like memorabilia that's been made by humans. Look at how good I look in this.
Yeah, especially the ones that are all caked up. He's like, that's like the biggest poster.
That's like the first thing you see when you walk in his door. They're like, wow, I do look good. Thank you.
Dang, I wonder if they even get any royalties for all this merch people have been making.
They're not worried about royalties. They live past capitalism. They're cryptids. They'll be fine.
So going back to the Carmel, Ohio, they did say it could possibly be a bird. So a lot of people say it's the sandhill crane bird.
Yeah, which is also the same bird that they say that Mothman possibly is. Just because they have that red mask on their face and they're really tall and, bird-like.
They're bird-like. So
Yes.
they're automatically a
However,
cryptid.
when looking at the sandhill crane, it doesn't deserve all this smoke because it's a relatively, plain looking bird. I mean, not plain. Bird enthusiasts, don't come at me.
You're being canceled by all bird enthusiasts right this second.
How dare you? That's my favorite crane.
But I kind of get it in the sense that the sandhill crane has this grayish coloring, is very large, and maybe depending on the where it's sitting could mess with your mind and imagination.
Yeah, I can see how the way it walks, maybe it's doing something weird with its wings. I don't know. We have a slide that we're reading our notes off of. I put a couple images in for you ladies. One of the sandhill crane, as you can see, it's like a cupcake of a bird. It is sweet. It is innocent. But I also let you know the shoebill stork is absolutely frightening, and I'm sure it looks like it is ready to eat your entire family.
I'm going to share these images with everyone on the Substack, so definitely check that out. Yes.
Yes, if you don't know what a shoebill stork is, because this is one of the images she put in, be prepared because you probably don't know that birds could be this dinosaur of a bird.
It is a jump scare.
I mean, dinosaurs are birds, right? They figured out that
well, this one definitely is. Because if you've ever heard a shoebill approach something or click its beak, you would think someone's lighting off a machine gun.
Oh my god!
I got chills thinking about the shoebill stork, and that's like a real animal.
They are very much real animals. In the wild. They exist today.
I found this image. I did in the slides just put a text box for its little quote there.
Excellent. You say less. I will just share it as is. Perfect.
Yes, so we bring these birds up because a lot of times cranes are to blame for a lot of the cryptid sightings, especially this one, since cranes have those very, very long legs. Storks have the very, very long legs, and their gait is a little slow. If you ever watched a crane walk, or a stork walk, or even a flamingo walk, they have those long legs. It looks like they're kind of strutting. That's kind of like what the Fresno Nightcrawlers look like they're doing when they're walking.
Did I tell you guys? I'm sorry that less talking about the birds reminded me. Every day I drive home from work, there's flamingos. I see flamingos just hanging out in a little.
I did not know flamingos were native to Southern California.
I don't think
did they escape the zoo and just.
That's what I kind of think, and I think everybody just kind of leaves them there. Because I see them every time. They're never in the same place, so I'm obviously it's not just little statues. I do live close to a major zoo, so it does make me think
they escaped the San Diego Zoo and now they just live in the wetlands of San Diego.
I was trying not to triangulate my area. Thank you very much.
San Diego is a very large area and is a big part of Southern California.
I know, I was just trying to make it seem a little more mysterious, but thanks.
Well, you only got two options for zoos, Los Angeles and San Diego.
Yeah.
I mean, they're small local ones. Isn't that why there's a city with parrots running around because they got out?
I have no idea. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think it's in Orange County.
Okay, that makes more sense. See, it would make more sense if it was Orange County that these flamingos escaped from. And they would just be like, nah, it's fine. They're okay. They're cool.
No, there's just these flamingos. They hang out in the wetlands, and Like, I see them every time. Anyways, should we continue?
I guess, we can talk about like their appearance, but we already know their legs.
Yes, so long legs, legs for days. Nightcrawlers are often characterized as being about 3 to 4 feet tall, so think toddler sized, while other accounts indicate that they can reach heights of up to 6 feet tall. The most striking feature of their size is the disproportionate size of their legs compared to their torso. In reality, the legs account for the majority of their height. The upper body, as it exists, seems to consist mainly of a tiny blob like structure. The neck, shoulders, arms are hidden. Some observers have likened this section of the Nightcrawlers to a simple head placed squarely on top of legs. People have drawn similarities between this odd body design with anything from animated pants to extraterrestrial entities.
So, since the legs are the most distinctive characteristic, some have described it as like they're on stilts because the way that their anatomy is, like I said earlier with the cranes, their gait is very long. So it almost looks like they're gliding or like some kind of like floating device, or rather they're like hovering, kind of like. The movement has had some speculate that there's some kind of levitation or some kind of anti-gravity technologies in place if you're going to go the alien route with this. Perhaps even without all this speculation of them being walking pants, cranes, some people can even say that this is probably just a deer standing upright. So we're going to get into the theories of this, what we think the theories of this are.
Let's jump into the theories. So, to recap, cryptids are creatures that are rumored or reported to exist, but have not been scientifically proven to be real. They're often originate from folklore, legends, eyewitness accounts, and more recent cryptids have become a favorite among cryptid fans, right? Like we have Mothman, we have these traveling pants known as the Fresno Nightcrawlers. There's even internet versions.
Can you
But
guys
anyway,
hear that? I'm sorry.
hear
I
what?
think those are some pants trying to stomp the yard in your yard.
I don't know if it comes out for everybody, but there's like loud banging sounds coming from
Yeah, I
outside.
think those are the pants stomping the yard. As for yeah, yes, this is a very new cryptid. Unlike other cryptids who have been around for, I don't know, over hundreds, maybe thousands of years, this cryptid literally showed up in the early 2000s. So little is still known about this cryptid. There's only been a few sightings for it, and most of it is what we see online, because social media is really what's perpetuating this cryptid. Most people think that this is maybe some kind of unidentified species that's walking around Yosemite. Though, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that most species have been identified in Yosemite?
It's a cryptid. I don't think it's an unidentified species. I think there's some others. I don't know. It could be teenagers messing around, walking on stilts.
If
I
this
mean,
was
a very
Appalachia
large ploy.
or Appalachia, I would definitely think it's maybe an undiscovered species because that place is scary. But also Yosemite, people go missing there. There's a lot of like spooky shit there. So maybe it's like a new kind of predator that nobody knows about, or it is simply a cryptid that's chilling.
So do you guys think that this species could possibly be a cryptid? Or are you on the side of this could be an alien species? Because a lot of people are torn between this fact that it could be an alien species.
I can see the alien species part with it being like a gray color. Yes, aliens. They could be. They're like the tall gray, like creepy looking thing, but at the same time, like how you hear descriptions of aliens, it also feels like there would be more body to it, unless they're like chickens and you just can cut their torso off and it just walks away.
In defense, of the alien concept, like it kind of makes sense. Like we've never seen them before. They recently populated within the 2000s era, which is not a very long amount of time. Not all aliens are going to look the same. That's the whole concept of aliens, right? Galaxy, multiverse.
Yeah, I guess all humans don't look the same.
All humans don't look the same. All aliens are going to look the same because like aliens means like all intergalactical species, creatures, beings, right? This and to some extent that could include bacteria. I don't know. I'm just saying like alien means anything
Just
that is
giant
living not on
bacteria
Earth.
walking down the street.
Yeah, that grew really big. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up here. That's
So I'm
the
gonna
point.
add one more thing to this so that you guys can talk about if it's alien or if it's a creature or a cryptid. So some people from Fresno think that this creature has been there for as long as humans have. So there are some Native American lore that these myths have been there forever, basically. And that the fact that they are white and translucent is that so they can move throughout landscapes and their bodies can blend into the environment more, and they are there just as peacekeepers for the forest.
Wait, I want to know more about this Fresno Nightcrawler being part of indigenous lore. Like,
Yes, so it has showed up in indigenous lore in Southern California and Northern California. So some people are on the lines that it has been there for as long as we have been there, but the sightings have only showed up in the early 2000s because we went over earlier that cryptids, their sightings go back, some of them, like how far back does the Loch Ness monster sighting go? But this one has only recently, I say recent as in the early 2000s, have been documented and have footage of this cryptid. So that makes me think that this cryptid has either gone so far unnoticed, because even in the early 90s there was still cameras, and you're saying that nobody for all that time has walked in Yosemite and has noticed these creatures.
They could just be very good at playing hide and seek. There's a lot of trees.
There is a lot of trees, and in their translucent bodies play a big factor into this. So like maybe you see them but maybe you don't, because maybe they're just blending in.
Maybe they're John Cena and just
Yeah, they're just not there. And the fact that it says that they're peacekeepers, but one of the accounts say that they found a deer carcass at the scene. Do you think that possibly a nightcrawler hunted it down, or do you think that nightcrawler was trying to...
I think it's defamation on the Nightcrawlers' name. Thank you very much. They do seem like peaceful creatures. So when you're talking about finding a deer carcass nearby, could just be a coincidence. It was just walking by, just was paying its respects to the deer.
I want to say I believe that too. They do seem like pretty peaceful creatures, especially since the first sighting, Jose had dogs outside of his yard. They were barking all night. Never been touched by these creatures, but all of a sudden these creatures walk on his lawn, very close to those dogs. Nothing happens. No harm comes to that family. They're just strolling. They're just walking. Even in Yosemite, I don't think has been any, indications that they've been attacked by walking pants, to
yeah,
my knowledge.
maybe they really are peacekeepers that have been there for thousands of years. I mean, okay, so like I guess the Awanichi people are the people who have said that they've always been around. I'm trying to find like what the story is, what the lore is, just besides it being peaceful. Because I hadn't heard of this until you mentioned it earlier. So I'm trying to like quickly find anything.
Yeah, so that is another thing about this topic. Since it is so new, there's not a lot of information about this. It's kind of on maybe blogs. You have to look up some interviews, the footage, but there's not a lot of possible sightings for this. There's maybe 4 or 5 of them. And a lot of it is maybe it's this and maybe it's that, or maybe it could be this.
Absolutely, that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're talking about it. What people think this is. As of right now, I think that I honestly think that they're maybe just spirits, which would explain their translucent appearance. And I think that they are peaceful spirits.
Alien ghosts, got it.
Alien ghosts. I don't
Never
think
saw
they're
a whale or see
alien.
their legs.
I don't think they're
Just mesh
aliens.
it all together and package it with a little bow, and we'll call it a
all
day.
together.
But I'm just glad that I'm not really okay, except for the deer stomping conversation. For the most part, I feel like I would be afraid if I ran into some traveling pants. I'm just like, oh hey, cool, okay, I'm just gonna keep going, do my thing.
Yeah, so unlike any other cryptids, these ones have not shown themselves to people. They're only
And
caught on footage.
well, even if they had, like, would you believe me if I came home and were like, hey, just ran by some pants?
I just saw some pants in the forest, and they'd be
Yeah,
like,
like,
"Okay, cool."
okay, cool, like, whatever, like, you're tripping. I just honestly think I'd just be like, walk on by.
Yeah, you just be like, keep walking, especially in like Yosemite. There are so many other things to worry about than ghost
Then
walking pants.
translucent, right? I'm like, if you're translucent, chances are you can't, like, actually hurt me.
Yes. So that's what makes I'm on the side for these are friendly spirits. I think they're friendly spirits. I don't think they're physical beings. I don't think they're aliens. But what is your stance on it? What stance are you guys taking?
Maybe. Have you guys seen the Disney movie Onward?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Oh,
With
the
the
dad.
dad?
Oh,
It's the dad.
I forgot about that movie, and then till you brought it up.
I just thought about it right now. I forgot what the name was, so I quickly Googled on my phone. I'm like, Disney movie D&D. Like, because
D&D Disney movie, basically.
and that's the first thing that came up. So
Yeah. Oh, I love
They're
Onward.
possessed pants. See, that still
See,
aligns
there
with ghostly pants.
somebody was trying to bring back their dads. And
So not a
didn't
sisterhood, a
finish.
brotherhood, a
Brotherhood.
fatherhood.
A fatherhood of the traveling pants.
We got there eventually.
Yes.
All right. Theory solved. Cryptid solved.
Cryptid
Yep,
solved.
there we go. Disney
Excellent. We'll
cracked the
just.
code.
Zoe's the mouse.
So, other than the fact that these are currently under investigation because people are dying to still see more sightings of these, Yosemite has had so many people go out to that site alone where the footage was covered just to see if they see these pants. And nobody has seen anything since. Like, you could go to Reddit and people are like, oh, I saw them, but there's no footage. So, are you guys the people that take people's words for it, or do you need to see it to make it real?
I am very much a skeptical believer, most things. I like to look for scientific explanations to things, but also it's just fun.
You like to have a little fun with your science?
Oh
Fun
yeah.
science.
But
Fun
I've also
science.
experienced some stuff where I'm like, no, some little something else going on. Yep, yeah.
So, with that perspective, what do you think these are then with fun mixed with science?
Some videos, like I want to say it's like light reflections is what it makes me think of, but the movement is what makes me kind of not feel that way either.
So, could it possibly be a bird, but with certain light reflections could look like something else?
Maybe.
But to
But
me,
again,
a lot of this footage is captured at night, and most birds aren't night creatures. So that makes me think it's not a bird. I
I
could be
mean,
wrong, obviously. All bird
owls.
creatures.
Owls are night creatures, right?
Yeah,
There,
that's why
there
I
are.
said, like,
they're
all birds,
also
there are bird night
not that
creatures.
tall.
But it just
But
makes me think more on the sciencey side, trying to rule out some
of the Yosemite
possibilities.
footage, the Fresno footage, the movement that they make is very much not that, which is why I know that is not it. Again, I can't explain it, so this is one that I would like to believe in because as far as cryptids go, they're pretty cute.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to believe it in the sense that, like, there's a reason why stories are told, and there's some truth to every aspect, even if it's just a tiny morsel within that story. Um, But I also really love it just as a marketing ploy to get people to visit Yosemite. Like, hey, you're into aliens, you're into ghosts. Let me tell you about these amazing night
That
Oh
crawlers.
my
impressed me.
god. You jumped the gun. That was my last point I was gonna bring up. So the last theory is that it's a hoax. This is a hoax. This is a marketing ploy that there are people out there wearing pants and stilts or using puppetry to mimic this movement, because if you look at the movement, it's very puppet like. But then that brings the next question is, if Yosemite is marketing something, why would they show up on Jose's lawn? And why would they show up in Poland?
For the clout.
For the clout, just like, I'm in Poland, guys. I made it.
They want to be involved, okay? They want to be
I have
part
one
of
too.
it. It's like, look, me over here too.
Like I wish I like right now in this moment, I wish I had like a little drawing version so I could just like awkwardly put it behind me. Oh, I have one here too.
Just get
Yeah,
your
you
husband
know.
to make a puppet and just have it walk past you.
Just like yeah. Little paper.
Yeah, because
Add
so
little
far,
dangly legs, you know what I mean? Little
yeah,
translucent
so
face.
far, the closest thing to mimic its movement is puppetry.
I mean, I'm just saying it'd be a really fun little DIY project, some tissue paper. You can
See,
just make some mini ones.
so if you think you can DUI it, do you think someone else did?
Well, I'm talking about creating fake footage with
Yes.
perception. I'm not going to build a 7-foot one because where am I going to store that? But like a little stop motion, little graininess,
Little claymation.
some imagination. Listen, I believe.
So you believe that it's possible someone could have done this in the middle of Yosemite?
Well, we think it's from middle of Yosemite. There's this idea that like whatever we see, whatever we hear, you got to question it. How did that footage get there? Was it truly raw footage? Who knows?
So if it was part of a marketing ploy, they could have totally just did this off-site and then
Airdropped
said,
it.
"Hey, yeah, like we found this footage, guys." But what about Jose? He wanted nothing to do with these footages, and they're on his lawn. Do you think he could have been part of the marketing ploy? That is, I'm not even sure at this point what the marketing ploy would have been for that one. Visit Fresno, California.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody wants to go to Fresno.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to
Hey,
Fresno.
hey,
Fresno's
no
not
offense.
exactly.
No
to
offense.
Fresno.
No offense to Fresno.
They have not been to Fresno, California. I trust you that. I have not been to Fresno, California, so I cannot say that indefinitely.
It's not exactly a place where you're like, yeah, I really want to go to Fresno.
It's not on the bucket list.
But
Sorry, Fresno.
that's home for the Nightcrawlers. So you're saying you wouldn't go just
I
to see
would just for the
Nightcrawlers?
Nightcrawlers. See, it's
See, there you
working.
go.
It's
See,
put 'em
maybe
on the
that
map.
was the ploy. Maybe that was put them on the map. Was this cryptid? Because everyone was like, "Hey, how do we get people to come here?" And they're like, "Cryptid." You know what people like? Cryptid.
Cryptids.
And they're like, "Oh, well, people also like true crime," and they're like, we can't kill anybody, so we're just gonna go with the cryptid."
Yes, that was exactly what was discussed at the marketing table. We can't. No, murder is
People
not
of
allowed.
Fresno called a meeting.
But let me tell you
and was
about
like, How do we
pants.
get people to come here? Somebody was like, murder? And they were like, no.
No, that's too
No,
far.
no, that's
That's
quite
too
a
much.
bit further than I was planning.
You know what movie I just saw? Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I think we could do something with that.
Okay, what is the timeline on that film and these pants?
I don't know. Someone look that up because I have no idea.
So I read the book, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
The film came out in 2005, so the book came out before.
Okay, there we go. Timeline. There you go.
Timeline met. Someone read that book and was like, "This is how I get people to come to Fresno, California, without the murder."
And without the
No murder. Scratch that.
Why?
Scratch that.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
I truly want to believe that there's little, translucent pants walking around out there in the forest. I feel like that would be my least concern, that there's ghostly pants in the forest.
Of all the things that exist in the
Yes.
world that are real and not real, it's a little traveling pants, little night crawler.
Yeah, just call us the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. That's what we should have called this podcast, maybe.
No, we copyright so fast.
That sounds.
That's
Yeah,
real, that's
no, I don't really want to. No.
And that also wouldn't, describe how we like spooky stuff. Maybe spooky hood of the traveling pants. I don't know. Well, as cryptid goes, I do like this one. This one's puts a special place in my heart just because it's so cute. I think out of all the cryptids, this one's pretty cute. They can look like pants. A lot of people make them look like teeth, though. Have you seen the ones that look like
They
teeth?
kind of look like teeth. It's because they make the top part really round and then they make the bottom parts really small.
I have to go look at this.
Yes. So some of them draw them like as teeth. I would like to think of them just as being like ghosts with long legs.
I googled the wrong thing and something else came up. Hold up.
Nope.
Yeah, we gotta be careful what we Google nowadays.
No. My geek ass is getting Nightcrawler from X-Men, and that's not what I'm trying to find.
That's exactly what we're trying to find, because I think that's exactly what I would want to see in Yosemite Park. I'd be like, Nightcrawler?
little blue flashing character. Okay, I haven't seen the T-foot. I'm not seeing it, but I'll look for it. I'll put it on the list of things to add.
Well, we're really curious to what you guys think about this. Obviously, everyone has their opinions about this cryptid and whether it's called a cryptid or if you want to call it an urban legend or an entity, because some people think it's an alien, of course, so it wouldn't be classified as a cryptid if you think it's an alien. We want to hear more things about this, maybe stuff that we didn't cover. There is quite a bit we probably didn't cover, but like I said, there's not a lot on this cryptid. They're new. They're still making their presence known.
Yeah, we're still learning about them. If anybody's had any interaction, any sightings, let us know. If you're from Fresno, we're sorry for laughing at your city. But yeah, let us know, and let us know what you're interested in hearing next.
I just want to toss in also, if you draw and have any cute little drawings of these guys, I'd love to see them. So definitely send that.
Yes. You can send it to geekyghoulspodcast@gmail.com. We would love some fan art.
Yes, we also have, a Twitter. We have a Substack. You can send wherever you feel more comfortable. We would love to see some drawings of these.
Mm-hmm.
You could also find us on Instagram, Facebook.
All the socials, we're there.
All the socials. And if we missed one, let us know.
I think we even have a Reddit. We have a Reddit.
Do we have a Reddit?
Yeah, we have a Reddit.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go cause chaos.
Right. Let's cause some chaos on this. Just be like, Fresno Nightwalkers, not real. No.
I immediately was...
Fresno Fight Club started.
It's the Fresno Cryptid.
I think
Fight
that's
Club.
a different podcast.
Yeah.
It's for the MMA fighters that they made on Tuesdays.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. For more ghoulish fun, connect with us on our social medias, Geeky Ghouls or Geeky Ghouls Podcast.
We'd love to hear your suggestions on topics for future episodes. Share your fan art and overall comments about this week's topic.
You can also join our Geeky Coven on Patreon and unlock exclusive content and perks. Your support means the world to us.
Catch us on the next episode of Geeky Ghouls.